Good morning, I'm Cuan, welcome to Gunrats. This morning we have Beretta's mid-sized polymer framed APX Centurion, a superb little gun. Absolutely wonderful from Beretta stable, 15 round magazine capacity, easy to strip, easy to maintain, and super reliable. A very low bore axis, you get a nice high grip purchase on this frame, which makes shooting an absolute pleasure. It's a striker fired pistol, as we've become very familiar with in modern pistols. This one has a particularly good trigger for a striker fired pistol, iron sights, fully ambidextrous, massive cocking serrations. There's been a lot written and said about the APX Centurion, and everything that has been said about it that is positive is true. They are absolutely superb. In fact, if I carry a firearm, this is my firearm of choice. In fact, I have one licensed just for that specific reason, the Beretta APX Centurion. Another wonderful feature of this pistol is you can change these grip modules to different colors, which is fantastic. I've actually got some modules here. These are slightly smaller. These are for the compact APX. So the APX Centurion is a 15 round pistol, magazine capacity of 15 rounds. The APX Compact, and I have one here, brand new in its box. We just take that little magazine out, make sure she's safe. There is the Compact. So the Compact is a 13 round magazine capacity, and the APX Centurion is a 15 round magazine capacity. What's really interesting about these two pistols is that their slides and their frames are their slides and their barrel lengths are identical in length. The only difference being the length and the capacity of the frames. So the Centurion is a slightly longer frame grip, and the Compact is a more compact frame grip, 13 rounds, 15 rounds. If you own an APX Centurion, you can change this grip module for different colors. So it will come standard from the factory black. This one's already been changed. And you have options of flat dark earth, olive drab green, and the wolf gray colors. If, however, you decide that you want to make your APX Centurion a compact pistol, in other words, shorten the grip a little bit, in other words, that would affect your print on your shirt and that when you're concealing your firearm, you can in fact purchase, as an aftermarket option, this grip frame kit, replace your Centurion one with the compact one, and you will have the exact equivalent of the compact pistol. Slightly more compact, easier to conceal, and you sacrifice magazine capacity from 15 rounds to 13 rounds. However, all is not lost, because, and I'm going to grab a compact here now, the APX Compact. This is what your pistol will look like size-wise once you've converted the Centurion into the Compact. But here's a compact magazine, nice and flush. I did mention that these are ambidextrous. In other words, you can change your magazine release to this side, and the slide release is already on both sides. So that's fully ambidextrous already. If you take the 15 round magazine that fits with the Centurion and you put it into the Compact, it will also work. And you get little grip adapters if you don't like this little groove that's left behind. It fills that groove perfectly, and the feel in your hand is exactly the same as a normal full-size Centurion. So you have all these options, and I'm all about options. I like having choice, particularly when you're regulated and you can only have one firearm for self-defense, and there are only so many things you can do. So you could actually effectively have a Centurion, convert it into a Compact, but by putting in a longer Centurion magazine with a grip module, you're basically back to the same feel and magazine capacity as the Centurion, and I think that's a massive bonus. You dress up, you're going out, it's hot, you don't want to wear jackets, you can put in the slightly smaller magazine and carry the larger magazine, which is easy to conceal, on your belt. So you can have a spare 15 round magazine on your belt and a 13 round magazine in your Compact. Another advantage is that Beretta also makes a 20 round magazine for the APX series pistols in 9mm parabellum or 9x19mm. And that's also really nice. For example, if you go to bed at night, you take out your standard magazine, put in a 20 round magazine, sticks out a little bit like that, but you've got massive firepower now, which is always, I've never heard of anybody complaining about, oh, I wish I had more, I wish I had less ammunition in a firefight. So always nice to have those extra rounds. A superb package, recoil operated, a very simple gun, and that's exactly what you want in a self-defense firearm. You want simplicity, something that's always the same. No external safeties, The safety is here between your ears. Finger off the trigger, the firearm will not fire. Finger on the trigger, and that is your bang stick. Now we're getting real. So all told, a superb carry firearm, lightweight, easily to conceal, particularly with the compact option, the module option. I carry a APX Centurion with absolutely no problems whatsoever in this configuration. And it's a truly magnificent firearm. Nice iron sights, 3-dot system, massive ejection port. All the controls are relatively large, yet not cumbersome, so they don't get in the way. Nice and grippy, nice tactile feel to it without hurting you or hurting your skin when you carry. You've got a bit of a recess in here, so if for any reason your magazine gets a little sticky, there is something to purchase on. A massive space here to grab and rip out your magazine if it's necessary. Must say, never happened to me, and I put a couple of thousand rounds through mine. From a safety perspective, the firearm is exceptionally safe. It has the all too familiar little paddle on the center of the trigger. So inside the trigger, there's a little paddle. If that paddle is not depressed, the trigger cannot be pulled all the way rearward. In other words, tripping the sear and firing the firearm. So that has to be. So basically what the paddle is saying, if you don't press me, and I'm part of the trigger, don't fire. So if you do press me, fire. And I mean, that's just common sense. If you pull the trigger, it's going to fire. If you don't pull the trigger, it won't fire. What you cannot see on the internals is that inside this mechanism over here is an internal firing pin block. So you can smack this gun with a hammer, you can throw it off the second floor of a building, second story of a building, not that you'd want to. But if this firearm had to drop accidentally or get smacked accidentally, it cannot fire. The firing pin cannot reach the primer of the cartridge. So perfectly safe to carry one up, as you should carry in a self-defense firearm. Ready to go. Let's go put a couple of rounds through her and see what our impressions are on the range. Briefly describe the Beretta APX Centurion pistol and all the options that it affords you, and as such it's just an absolutely wonderful package to look at. Beretta, company well known to almost everybody. If you don't know Beretta, where have you been? 500 years old, a lot of technology, a lot of innovation coming through, a massive company, tremendous support locally and internationally for that matter. And yeah, we have the APX Centurion. It's got the FDE frame kit on it. That's just the cosmetic. We had a target here about 7 meters away. Nice and slow. Let's see how she performs. I personally own one of these pistols, so I can attest to the reliability of the pistol. And it's just a wonderful pistol to operate. It just functions flawlessly. Everything's in the right place and where it should be. So the guys at Beretta, well done. You've really done your homework. You've listened to what people want, and you've put it together in a really neat little package. 9x19, I've got 15 rounds in this magazine. Let's try it on this little target over here. And a little bit of slow fire. 15 rounds of ball. Let's have a go. Absolutely perfect. All exactly where they're supposed to be. Center mass, 15 rounds. I've got 17 rounds loaded up in this magazine over here. Let's just pack this away. 17 rounds. Sticks out just a little bit. Certainly not uncomfortable. Actually feels quite good. It's now pretty much the same feel as a full-size APX pistol. And what's really nice, and I don't have it here unfortunately, is you get a little spacer that slides over the magazine and fills this gap. So you don't feel this little ridge, this little recess over here. I must say that when I'm firing and I'm focusing on that front sight, I'm not even aware of that. Let's just holster that for a moment. Let's put a little bit of speed onto this one and see how she goes. "17 rounds downrange, a little bit of a drift to the left, I noticed it. And the reason I noticed it is because the recoil impulse is so flat. I watched my front sight drifting a little bit to the left, I pulled her back and I corrected my mistake. That's how easy this firearm is to shoot. highly controllable, really, really comfortable, a lightweight, practical, everyday carry option for a man looking for a self-defense pistol. You shouldn't have to look further than the APX Centurion from Beretta. A magnificent pistol. Go see your local dealer, make your inquiries, and like I say, I like options. Go to your dealer, look at your options, weigh them up, and you certainly cannot go wrong by looking at an APX Centurion from Beretta. This little APX Centurion from Beretta really never fails to amaze me. It always does exactly what you need it to do. It's a lovely little pistol. Even the grip texture is absolutely spot on. It's not too rough to be uncomfortable, but it's certainly rough enough to purchase a nice solid grip without moving around unnecessarily. And you also get these little back straps. So if you find you've got slightly larger or smaller hands, you can choose between a small, a medium, and a large back strap. And that gives you the distance between the back strap and your trigger for a nice, secure purchase, just so that it's nice and comfortable. I'm so confident with this grip texture. We're just going to try 5 shots, one hand quickly. Headshot. I mean, the control of this pistol, it's just such a simple pistol to use, functions flawlessly, easy to shoot. Where you put that little front sight, that's where your round goes. Absolutely spot on. If you're in the market for a self-defense firearm, something for home protection, look no further than Beretta's absolutely superb APX Centurion.